Yo, 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 what's goody? What's goody? What's goody? Let me pin myself while people are coming in. What's going on, y'all? Hey, Billionaire B. Super excited that people's tapped in and we are doing this thing. I'm gonna wait. Well, nah, I'll just go ahead and start it. There's a few people gonna be tapping and jumping in, things like that, jumping around. But I just wanted to give a huge welcome. Thank you for joining the program. Just a couple things to note, a couple things to remember, a couple things to understand. When you get access to your program, you're gonna see something called Event Space Elite's dashboard, right? So you're going to see review this first, and then course module number 1, open that up. It's going to say review this first. Once you click review this first, there's going to be a PDF document there, right? There's going to be a PDF document that basically shows you where to find the Facebook group link and a whole bunch of other different little neat bonuses and things like that. Tomorrow morning, you're going to get an email, which is basically your welcome and onboarding email. It's going to have your link for funding. It's going to have your link for accountability calls. And it's going to also have, I'm always missing something. What was the last thing I'm forgetting? It's going to come back to me. But it's going to have all your bonuses and whatnot there too. So definitely make sure you look out for that welcome email. It's going to be sent tomorrow morning from my assistant, Bianca. Now, how to make the most out of this. We have our accountability calls every single Sunday at 8 p.m. They're all recorded and they will be sent to you. If you don't attend them, I highly recommend you do. They're really, really dope. The accountability calls, like my guy Drew, he goes crazy, shows you how to basically use the information and get started. And it's a really, really, really a lot of information. So definitely dope. In terms of the bonuses and whatnot in the course, definitely make sure you go through every single thing in the program. Like, don't try to just rush everything to get through the guarantee or whatever the case may be. But definitely make sure there's literally over 30 modules in the program itself, in just the event space and throne rentals, not even the Airbnb. And just the event space and throne rentals, which go hand in hand, there's over 30 different modules to use. So definitely make sure you do that. Also, one of the other big things that I would definitely caution you on is focus on one thing at a time, right? Focus on one thing at a time. We're about to start the Q&A in a couple minutes. Focus on one thing at a time. So you want to make sure, all right, cool. If I'm doing event space, I'm doing event space. If I want to do throne rentals, I want to do throne rentals. If I want to do Airbnb, I want to do Airbnb. Make sure you focus on one thing at a time, because the thing about it that I see a lot of people do is they start to jump around. I want to do this, I want to do that, whatever the case may be. You don't want to be jumping around. Focus on one thing and make the most amount. I've literally had students fail. I'm not gonna lie to you, have failed because they're trying to do so many different things at once, and I had to just intervene and be like, yo, I need you to focus right now. So definitely make sure, I want you to promise me they're going to really focus and just do one thing at a time. This event space thing is a very lucrative business. I'm super blessed. It's put me into the position that I have now. I've been able to buy property with my event spaces. I've been able to get my dream car with my event spaces, which is actually in the shop right now. Boo. I've been able to pay my mom's mortgage with my event spaces. It's just really, it's been able to afford me a really, 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 really good life, and I'm just super thankful. So I'm here to answer any questions. Don't worry, you don't gotta put your camera on or anything like that. I know it's late, y'all tucked in, things like that, but just if you can, just do me a favor, hit the raise hand button, so I know just to call people in an orderly fashion and things like that, because I want to make sure that everybody gets their questions answered and whatnot. I know there's going to be people trickling in, trickling out, whatever the case may be, but if you do have any questions, just make sure you hit the raise hand button. You can just go to more right here, and oh wait, no, I think it's on the other side, my bad. But just go to the settings at the bottom and just hit raise hand, and I'll be able to call on you and just answer whatever questions you might have. I'm here for as long as you guys are here, so don't even worry about that. Let's get it. Don't be one of them groups where nobody got a question. I think I see Kanisha was the first one. Let's get it, Queen. Talk to me.
Hi, good night. So you had mentioned something about a view first. I'm probably saying it wrong. What was that first thing that you said about viewing first? A link or something? Because I received an email. You said view this first.
Review this first. Yeah. So when you open up the course modules, you're going to see review this first, and you're going to see the course. Hit expand all, expand everything, and you're going to see review this first, and then you're going to click that, and then it's going to you're going to click that. Actually, hold on, I could show you guys just so what the hell was this?
Is that underneath the My Products, the Ultimate Event Space Accelerator and stuff like that? Is it those where it says view product?
Absolutely, yeah. So I'll pull it up for you guys right now, just so you know exactly where to find it. I'm gonna take on a second. All right, cool. So share screen here. So you see how it says review this first. You're gonna hit expand all. You're gonna see right here Event Space Elite's resource dashboard. When you click the resource dashboard, you're gonna see this PDF right here. Once you click this PDF, well, I can't click it because I'm on live right now. But you hit this PDF right here, and the Facebook group is gonna be right at the top. I mean, it's a little complicated just because like it's also in your welcome email, but a lot of people just kind of skip past that and don't see it. But it's right there. It's also in this tab too. Let me know if you see it.
Thank you.
Nah, no problem. No worries, Queen. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Kyle, talk to me.
Hey, what's going on with you, King?
What's happening with you?
You got it. So do you do partnerships or collaborations?
Sometimes from time to time, because the thing about it is that like I work on other projects as well. Like I have Airbnbs, I have real estate, I have to manage the coaching program and things like that too. So I try to be very, very picky with how I co-partner with different spaces. Me and one of my mentees, I have a space actually right here in Brooklyn where that we have together. She's actually going to be taking over completely, but from time to time I do it if it makes the right sense and it's at the right time for me. But
Okay, cool.
I really just try to have people keep ownership as much as possible because I'm a real advocate for ownership. And I like people like we have our inner circle and we have our mentorship program where it's basically like we're partners because I show you every step of the way. Like in our inner circle program, that's our top tier program. We find the space for you. We negotiate the lease. We come up with a marketing plan. We come up with an automations plan. We market you and we guarantee you to get a space within 6 months or your money back with $20,000 worth of revenue. So that's our top tier program. That's our highest selling program. So that's basically like me partnering because I'm with you every step of the way. So
Definitely. But yeah, I got space already. It's pretty dope. It's in a market where it's not really that much competition as well. It's in like the Midwest, Kansas City. And I just renovated it, got everything up to par. It's ready to roll. I'm just right now, I'm in that what's next stage.
Right. So I do have a lot of people actually who join our inner circle. What is this? Who join our inner circle with us in existing space because they just want to get to the next level, right? We're actually working on a program also where we just kind of like get more bookings for existing space owners. But the thing about it is that it's really, really dope because I have people who join our inner circle program with a space and we get to move a lot faster because it's just like, all right, cool, boom, you got the space. You don't have to worry about that. Now we're gonna market you, we're gonna automate you and things like that. So the inner circle is really, really cool. That's our 35K program. It's only 35K. Where like I said, we help you find the space, we market it, automate it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's a 1-year mentorship as well. So you get to work with me. All my mentees have my phone number. We can talk anytime they want, things like that. I think one of them just hit me up actually. A lot of the people who you saw in the presentation today, those are a lot of my mentees, like Yvonne, Rich, Terrion, those are all my mentees. And we just like work together to really build out like a tight program. Like y'all hear some of the numbers that they were doing, 49,000, 10,000, 20,000. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. I hope I answered your question, King.
No, you did for sure. I appreciate it, bro. I'm gonna tap in and stay at it.
Let's get it, bro. Cindy, talk to me.
Hey, how are you?
What's going on? What's going on?
Good night, everyone. So, I'm very interested. I was having trouble paying doing the payment, but it finally went through. So that's a good thing. Anyway, so my thing is, how are you going to help me get the funding?
Right. Yeah. So it's Right. So it's generally based on credit, but the thing about it is that we do have some funding partners that do 100% financing. So we have 3 different funding programs: Nove, Wise Bank, and Elevate. With these 3 different programs, we can basically guarantee funding because the thing about it is that they funded nearly everybody. The ones with the best terms are typically Nove, but for people who don't have the best credit, we have other programs too.
Yeah, I do have a good credit, and then also I wanted to know that how are you going to help me? Because I know that you mentioned that you are going to help at least find the first 5 spaces.
Absolutely.
And I'm in Maryland.
No problem. Yes. So like I mentioned, so you're gonna get an email. You're gonna get an email tomorrow morning. It's your welcome and onboarding email. So in that email, what you're gonna have, that was the thing I was missing. I knew I was missing something. So you're gonna get a welcome email. It has the funding link. It has the my assistant's gonna ask you a question. Where do you want your spaces? And then when you give her the location, she's gonna go ahead and find you 5 spaces for you to get started with. Once you do that, then you're also going to get the accountability Zoom calls in that same email, as well as access to the course if you don't already have it. So that's how we do it. It doesn't matter which location you're in, we find spaces for everybody.
So how are you going to know here in Maryland what area or what space would be a good space for me? As in, you know, hey, this will be like a good spot, or do I have to just tell her or him or her exactly where I'm looking at?
So you're going to tell her what location you want your space in, and then she's going to find you 5 spaces. It's not like an in-depth look, because the thing about it is like if you want somebody to find your space for you, negotiate your lease, and take you through the entire chain link, then the inner circle is definitely for you. This one is where we're going to find your first 5 spaces to get you started. So you're going to tell her like, all right, cool. Hey, look, listen, I'm in Baltimore, Maryland. I want a space in Baltimore. All right, bet. She's going to go ahead, do some digging, find 5 spaces that look like they're suitable for an event space, and she's going to send you the link. Once you get those links, you can now turn around and call the landlords and find out like, all right, cool. Hey, look, listen, I'm interested. Can I come see it? This, down, the third. So we get you started on the process. If you want more, if you want us to like literally be with you, like find the space, negotiate this, down, the third, then I definitely would recommend the inner circle.
So it's just gonna be the 5 space that you find, and I go in there and see whether it's a good, you know, like a good fit for me.
Absolutely.
And it ends there, as in you found the 5 space and that's it.
So yeah, so like I mentioned, if you want more of a hands-on approach, if you want more of a hands-on, like if you want more of, all right, cool, I need to take this thing all the way, then yeah, you can sign up for the inner circle. That's where we do the whole thing. But for this, for when you're just signing up in the program, it's just one of the bonuses that we offer. Like, hey, look, listen, if you don't, and that's actually a relatively new thing that we offer now, where a lot of people, they can't find spaces for themselves. So we say, all right, cool, look, listen, we'll find some spaces for you, because every time we find a space, you're also getting contact with the realtor, you're getting contact with the broker. So now you have that contact to go and find more spaces. So say, for example, you look at those 5 spaces and you're just like, I don't really like them. You still have contact with the realtors and brokers. So now they can go ahead and go find you more spaces. So we're finding you the spaces, and we're also getting you contacts to start your journey. It's kind of like a booster pack where we're getting you started on the journey, if that makes sense.
All right. And okay, so that was my number 1 was the funding. Number 2 was the space. Number 3, the automation.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to help? Are you going to have somebody help implement the automation, or you guys are just going to walk me through how to put my business on automation?
Right. So this is gonna be the last question I answer, just so I have time to answer everybody.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're completely fine. Don't even worry. No need to apologize. So with the automation, like we mentioned in the webinar, we have a recorded class that shows you how to. It's about an hour long, that shows you all the steps that we use to automate your space. So when you get to this level, like a lot of the questions that you're asking, it sounds like you may, and you can only tell me if this is true or not, but like you might need a more handheld approach. If you want more of a handheld approach, then our inner circle may be the fit for you. If you feel like, all right, cool, I can just take the information, I can get it together myself, then all right, boom, you're already good. You already have all the resources that you need. But for what the questions that you're asking, it sounds like you may need the inner circle. But say, for example, we put that to the side for now, we put that on the back burner. When it comes to automation, we have a 100% live recording. It's about an hour long, that shows you all the steps that we use, down to the VAs, down to the systems, down to the breakdown, down to the team, down to the automations and whatnot that we use to go ahead and automate your entire space. So once you use that, once you get to that stage in your business, because I don't think you have your space yet, but once you get to that stage in your business, that'll be a lot helpful. All right.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No worries, Queen. Natalie, talk to me.
Hi, Brian. Good night, everyone.
What's going on?
Quick question. I'm in Jersey, but of course, I'm interested in New York. Do you think Brooklyn is oversaturated with event spaces?
So, do I think Brooklyn is oversaturated? Yes and no. Yes and no. if you don't provide any real value, then you're not going to stick out from the competition and you will get lost in the sauce. But if you have really, really good upsells, you have really, really good space, you have really, really good customer service, you know how to market, you can make a killing in this industry. Like, there's a lot of people who are in Brooklyn and they have bigger venues than us. They offer more stuff than us or whatever the case may be, but they're not making the kind of money that we make. You see what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like knowing where you position. Like I always tell people, nobody's going to be you, right? Nobody's going to run your space like you. Nobody's going to market like you. You are going to make your space different. So with that being said, you can come into Brooklyn and completely disrupt the market just off what you offer. Like we came in and messed up the market because of what we offer. I have a 4,000 square foot warehouse right here in East New York that like we can offer a plethora of upsells and packages just because we have all the inventory. But you guys now have access to my inventory too because you have a vendor list. I hope that answers your question, Queen.
Thank you.
No, no worries, no worries. Kyle, I see your hand still up. Did you have another question, my boy?
No, I just had it up. I'm sorry.
Nah, you straight. I think I got through everything. Oh, Jesse, here you go. I just see the hand popped up. Talk to me.
Hey, all the way from Cali.
What up,
Listen,
Cali?
so I'm going back home to Texas, Houston, Texas, right? So I want to open this space there. I'm thinking about moving back home by the end of this year. I know your spaces are in New York and you're in New York, but how likely do you think it is for me to be in Cali right now working and open up a space in Houston and set that joint up to be automated within a couple of months?
So I'm going to give you the most realistic response I can possibly
Thank you.
Right? Nah, it's 100% fine. It's 100% possible. It's 100% possible. I like, believe me, God is my witness. It is 100% possible for a new person with this being their very first event space. I don't 100% recommend it. Because the thing about it is that as you start your business, you want to be as tied to it as possible. You want to be looking on as much as possible so you can learn as much as possible. For example, like I have a few people who are in my inner circle and they do it remotely because they have access and to our resources and whatnot. They can scale up a lot more quickly. However, when it comes down to you're just kind of like really trying to piece it together on your own or whatever the case may be, it can be very, very difficult. Not impossible, 100% not impossible, but it can be difficult because you're still figuring it out while you're also trying to automate an entire business. It's very easy to burn a lot of cash, lose a lot of money that way.
In the building process of when you are renovated, is that you need to be on the ground every day for that as well?
You don't have to be there every single day, but you want to be there. You want to be checking in as much as possible, especially like if you're using contractors. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, for example, I have a property in Houston, right, where we're renovating some apartments right now. I'm not there because I trust my guy. I've worked with him time and time again, but that's the essence of it. I've worked with him time and time again. If this is your first rodeo, you haven't really built up that kind of rapport with a team unless you've done other things with them or whatever the case may be. So it's going to be tough. It's not impossible, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah. And so it's a twofold. Do you go over how to staff up in the course? Because one of the things I'm sitting here I'm actually a little fearful of, I gotta let it go, is how to get the right people in,
right,
to help with the space and making sure I don't overstaff.
Right. So there's a module in the Event Space Accelerator called staffing, exactly what you're talking about, where it goes through your dream team and the people that you need to go and establish your space, to go and run it, automate it, whatever the case may be. I work less than, I would say, 4 hours a week on my event space business, and we've been blessed to do 80, 90, $100,000 a month or whatever the case may be. But that team's got to be solid. 100%, I agree. But again, if you're starting up, it's going to be very difficult to do those numbers or really automate that business when you're not there, especially when you're starting out. Like, don't get me wrong, like when you're starting out, you could take a weekend off here, there, and everywhere because you might have like a manager in place or whatever the case may be. But you got to really work up to that because because you want to you want to be around as much as possible. Like I've had bad experiences with just being away from my business too much and things going wrong. Like I tell y'all, like I remember this one time I was out of town and just like people not showing up for work and this, that, and the third. Like it just got really, really bad. But that's why it's important to hire the right people. I think I have a script. I don't think no, do I have it in there? I may or may not. I'm not too, I can try to find it, but I remember there was like an email script that I used when I was first hiring my very first rental assistant that had like it was like 8 or 9 questions that I just used to, you know, just kind of sift out and filter out you know, good qualities of a person and whatnot. But to be very, very honest with you, like you got to remember the interview is like the first date. Like people are always going to show you their best face. The best thing you can do is just, like I said, stay as closely as possible to them, train them up. And then if it doesn't work out, you hire and hire again. That's it. I hope that helps, Queen.
It definitely did. Thank you.
Nah, no worries at all. Kanisha, I see a hand up. Talk to me.
Okay, so this is my first. I don't have no EIN, no nothing for this. So can you explain? I'm gonna go over the email that was sent tonight on my own time, but can you just explain to me, or to all of us, I guess, what exactly we're getting with this course and what the or how to go about getting the one-on-one thingy, the handheld one. I don't remember what you called it, but I hope I'm making sense.
No, absolutely. So to answer your questions from top to bottom, so for one with the LLC, if you want to get an LLC, so there's a mini course in the actual program. I don't really talk about it, but there is a mini course in the actual program called Business 101, right? So if you go to the Business 101 course, it actually goes over like setting up your LLC, getting your EIN, setting up your business bank account, setting up your email, things, your text, your business line, things like that. Like it goes into those. I don't really talk about it too much because it's not the focus of the program. But it definitely is in there and it is an added resource. I gotta mention these things, man. Damn, like I gotta mention these things because these things can really help a lot more people. But that's just kind of like a little bonus. Like I said, I don't really mention that, but it's included in the course as well as an event planning handbook that'll help you if you want to become an event planner, you know, things like that. But you can go to swiftfilings.com, is SWYFT filings.
Can you say that again, please?
Yeah, absolutely. It's called swiftfilings.com, SWYFT filings.com. That's the website that I use. Honestly, you can get an LLC damn near everywhere nowadays. Like I know people who sell this thing like hotcakes. I just never really, it's not my business. But you can go to swiftfilings.com. What you're gonna want to do is you're gonna go. I bought like 30 LLCs from this website. I swear I can't make this up. But you're gonna get the standard package. I'm like trying to remember in my mind. You're gonna go ahead and get the standard package, and you're gonna do the add-on for EIN. Your EIN is gonna come in about 3 to 5 days, I want to say. And then this is just another play for everybody. While we're on the call, once you get your EIN, you're going to go ahead and go to dunnandbradstreet.com. You're going to go get your DMB number, right? And then you just follow the steps in the webinar. Like I mentioned, you're going to go into banks, set up business accounts, do the microtransactions, reconnect, things like that. In terms of the one-on-one, so like I mentioned, we have our inner circle program. The inner circle program is that's our top tier program, where it's very, 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 very refined. We're in terms of like, we don't like, it's not for everybody. Like I mean that in the nicest way possible. It's not for everybody. That's one where you literally, we hold your hand throughout the entire process. We find a space for you. Like I just texted one of my mentees, actually, she's in Virginia. We're finding a space for her. We just sent her a list of locations to take a look at so we can start making contact and find her space. But we find a space for you. We negotiate the lease for you. We come up with a marketing plan for you. We come up with an automation plan for you. We come up with a build out plan for you, so you can build out the entire space. Like Yvonne is one of our inner circle members. I literally personally visited her space. I went to her grand opening. I spoke at her husband's, because he's a principal at a school. I spoke at their school. But I'm very, that's the reason why we can't take on everybody with that program, because I'm 100% very involved. Like I mentioned, yeah, like, and with that program, we guarantee that you guarantee or your money back, that you'll find a space. with $20,000 worth of revenue within 6 months. So that's our 35K program. It's only 35K. You'll make that back in a couple months. There is funding available for that program as well, but that one's very, very intense. Like we keep it moving. Like you have my phone number, you can call me anytime, like things like that. So I hope that answers the question.
So this program is the one that we paid for tonight is just like you give us the information and you guys like give us a 5 or help us locate 5 spaces and then that's it, right?
So with this one, so there's a little bit more than that. So with this one's definitely geared towards beginners or people who just got their own space. Like I mentioned, so you have the course, you have access to the program, things like that. We're going to help you find your first 5 spaces. We're also going to help you get some funding, and 5K is just a starter. I know people, like I mentioned, who get a lot more. It's really just based on credit, how much you get. But I've seen a lot more funding than that. I've seen people get 18,000, 20,000, 23,000, things like that. There's also a few credit cards mentioned in the program as well to apply for. But you're gonna get your first 5 spaces. You're gonna help you get some funding. And that's 100% your money. Like we don't take any cut of that or anything like that. And then you also get 6 weeks of accountability calls. And the accountability calls are very, very important. The accountability calls are every single week, every single Sunday at 8 p.m. EST. My guy Drew, he goes in there, he works with you, make sure that you guys have like set goals that you're working on for the week, that you know how to use the program, things that third. If you guys have any questions, you can ask him, and then but if any questions have to escalate, he just brings that back to me. But it's definitely like a starter pack to really make sure that you get started with the amount of resources with as much resources as possible, right? Of course, like I mentioned to I believe Cindy, that if you want your hand held throughout the entire process so you make the least amount of mistakes as possible, then we have our inner circle program. But for this one, it's really just like, all right, cool, just like help me kind of swim in the water and then let me go and float. You know what I'm saying? The inner circle is just like, all right, cool, bring me across the entire river. I hope that kind of makes sense.
And that's the one for 35.
That's the 35K, yeah, 100%.
Okay. Okay, I think.
You think? Did I answer the question?
This is all really still new to me. Like it's something that I've been desiring for a while, and I did take a chance tonight. So I guess as I go on, it might become more clear, is what I'm hoping. Like I understand for the most part what you're explaining, but I'm very visual, so I learn as I, when I see it and as I go, not so much when I'm hearing it, but if that makes sense.
No, 100%, 100%. So the biggest thing to understand is that you're not alone, right? So for the biggest thing of all, first of all, you have the access to the Facebook group, and that's for life. Like you have that for life.
I don't have Facebook.
Oh, okay. Just make a little dummy. Just make a little dummy account, like a little fake, a little Finsta.
Is the link sent like to the email for the Facebook
Yeah,
group?
it's your course.
And that's going to be in the one that we get in the morning.
No, that you already have that.
Oh, for the.
Yeah. You already have that. That's already in your course. So yeah, you have.
It's in the course. Okay.
Yeah. So you have access to that already. The Facebook group is yours for life. So if you have questions and whatnot, you can jump in there and you can ask people 100%, right? So you have access to that for 1. 2, you have access to the accountability. It's not like, all right, cool, I bought a course and I'm flying, I don't know what to do now. Like we gotta watch you for like 6 weeks. That's the reason why we put the accountability calls in place. Because the thing about it is like, I know how it feels. Like, all right, cool, I just jumped into this and I don't know, like I don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what a lot of people, like you're not the only one. Every single time I do one of these calls, like I get that, like I see that and we feel that, which is why I'm just like, all right, cool, 6 weeks, I am watching you. Like we are like my accountability partner, like he literally comes to me every single week and he's just like, all right, cool, these people had the questions about this, questions about that, this, down the third, blah, 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 blah. Like all that situated. Kyle, did you check your spam? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we have the accountability calls, and that's also why we find your first 5 spaces, and that's also why we get you a little bit of funding, because we know what you need, if that makes sense. Like that's why we have a whole inner circle program, because I'm just like, I know what you need, I know what you're gonna need, and I can anticipate it because I've done it 5-6 times already. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the biggest things. So you're not alone. You have a lot of resources just for you to really take advantage of them. Because don't get me wrong, like I've had people pay $500 for the same course, $5,000 for the same course, $7,500 for the same course, and they, regardless of how much they pay, there's people who just like don't do anything. saying. Obviously, the people who pay more, they generally do a lot more, but there's a lot of people who just like don't do anything with the information. So just take advantage of all the resources you have available, because you do have a lot of resources available.
So this is my last one, and I promise I'm done. Just for visual, by the end of 6 weeks, the accountability, I should have something started, or like the LLC, EIN, and stuff like that in place for the event space.
You can get an LLC started tonight.
No, I'm saying like by 6 weeks, like I should be in motion for startup.
That's completely up to you. No, I understand, but that's completely up to you, because like he doesn't directly go over like this is how you create an LLC. You know, there are accountability calls to make sure that whatever you set out to do, you're doing, right? So it's just like, all right, cool. How do I get an LLC started, or how am I gonna go about doing it, or whatever the case may be? You'll be like, all right, cool. Well, this is how you go ahead and do it, right? It's accountability. So it's really to make sure that you go ahead. Again, like if you want your hand held throughout the entire process, we have bigger programs for that. Like we have our 5-week we have our 5K program, which is an 8-week session. The 8-week session includes sessions with me, where you can go ahead, come in, ask me anything that you want. We help you find more spaces. We help you find, we help you negotiate things like that. Those calls are with me. So for people who feel like, all right, yo, look, listen, I may not need the 35K, but I normally need a little bit more than accountability, we have a 5K program for that. All right. So with a 5K program, it's 8 weeks with me, and you can add it on after your 6 weeks if you want to do that, or you can do it immediately just to kind of get you rolling a lot quicker. With the 8 weeks, you get the accountability calls and you get calls with me. I do my calls every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST. You can come in and be like, all right, yo, B, like I looked at the space. What do you think about it? All right, yo, B, like I applied for my LLC. I'm not sure what to do next. What do I do with it? Like you can ask me anything you want. That we have that 5K program for that one too. But of course not everybody needs it, which is why we don't talk about it on the webinar unless you get like a sales call or something. But you have those options available for you again.
Thank you.
All right, now no worries, Queen. How would you add the 5K program? So if you wanted to do that, we can send you a link. We can send you a link ASAP. Or if you want to just wait. The only thing we're waiting though is because like they're like offers change. I just have to be completely honest with that. Offers change. Like for example, like last year my inner circle was 5K. Now it's 35K. Why? Because we have a lot more resources. I'm a lot more diligent as an entrepreneur. I know a lot more things. So like the 5K program might be 10K in a couple of weeks or whatever the case may be, just because we might add more programs and things like that. We might add more coaches or whatever the case may be. But right now you can add the 5K program for only 5K. If you want, I can send you the link and you can get started ASAP. We have our calls every single Wednesday. They're extremely informative. Kyle, you said you didn't get the course. All right, I got you, my boy. Don't even worry about that. Actually, Kyle, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm gonna send it to you tonight so you can get that situated. I don't want you to have to wait for your course. I'll send, like, my team would get to you tomorrow morning, but I'll get it to you tonight. Got you, my boy. I got you. How long did it take you to get a decent amount of rentals, like half of your current stock, and how much capital did it take? Ballpark range. Damn, how long did it take? So I really started I had a pretty decent inventory after like, I want to say 3 months, 3 to 6 months. But then it wasn't until I had my first large order from China that I had really a lot of inventory. And that was maybe after about a year. I had like crazy inventory. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Damn, if it's not in spam, yeah, y'all shoot me a DM. I got y'all, don't worry. What brought on the large order? I just wanted to be very competitive. You got to understand with the rentals that in order to, like, for example, I got my guy Rich. You saw him in the chat, right? I got my guy Rich there. He got the sauce from us. He got the mentorship and whatnot. He got the sauce. We showed him where to get, different vendors and things like that. And he turned up, like he turned into an animal, making, I mean, you saw $49,000 in a month and whatnot. He went crazy with it just because like he had that information. So the reason why people get large orders is just to be competitive and be a lot more exclusive. You'll like, think about it like this. Imagine you have a wall that nobody in your city has. Now you can do a decor that nobody in your city can do. Now you can have an event that nobody else can have. And it's that simple, right? So it's just all about being competitive, which is also why we include the vendor list, right? I worked several years as an event manager, so I understand the value. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, like it's definitely important to have these things in place. Do you need a so Jesse, just so in terms of wondering how much it will take, I'll tell you straight up. So my first large order from China, I spent 8K. Then my second large order from China, I spent 38K. And then my third large order, I spent 48K. So yeah, but it was definitely dope. Do you help get a 8K is nothing? Yeah, but I mean shipping is crazy now, so definitely could be a little bit crazy. But in the vendor list, something that's going to be very, very helpful is that we have something called a damn, what the hell is it called? A freight shipper, something like that. So I have my freight shipper TCK Express in there that will help you actually process your overseas order, and they can literally like have it set straight to your door. So it's crazy. It's a lot of resources in the program, y'all. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of resources that I like. Everything that I've ever learned in the 4 years I've been in this business is literally at your disposal. It's crazy. So you have that for your disposal. Do you need a business credit for the funding? No, you can do it off the personal. I'll take one more question if anybody has questions. Cindy, I see your hand up. Let me know if you have a question. But if nobody has questions, go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to know, instead of personal, can I use my for the funding for my business instead of personal? Because I would like to use everything towards my business for the funding.
So you can use this money towards your business. So it's going to ask you, it's going to ask you for a social because it's consumer funding program. So it's going to ask you for your social. So it's going to be based off personal. And the thing about business credit that a lot of people I feel have the misconception about is that your business has to be really well established for you to get a lot of business credit. For example, like I was able to get $130,000 off straight business credit because my business had been established for a few years. But if your business is just now starting out, you're not really going to get a lot of business credit. And this is not to be like encouraging or anything like that. It's just that, like, you know, like no reputable lender is just going to come out the gate and offer you $100,000 just when you open up your LLC like 2 days ago, right? So that's just really, really important. But with the funding companies that we use, you're going to get, it's going to be off the personal.
And do you need a guarantor, like somebody to guarantee for, a guarantor or somebody? Or no?
You don't need one, but if you feel that somebody else's social would help you, definitely I would recommend putting it in.
No, I'm just asking. And so the reason why is I would like, instead of personal, I was thinking business, because I already have my business. Mm-hmm. Running since 2019. Yeah.
Okay. And you have tax returns and...
Yeah, I have my taxes. I do my taxes and everything. So yeah, I was thinking that probably... Would it rather be a loan, or can I do a business, what's the name, credit?
So we're speaking about two of the same things, right? So business credit can be in the form of a loan, but a loan may not necessarily be business credit, right? So what you want to do is you want to get companies that fund you straight off your business credit. Now, I'll tell you straight up, the programs that we use to get people funding, because a lot of them are guaranteed, they're off personal. Now, to answer your question, if you want to get companies that lend strictly off the business credit, you can do that a number of ways. You can use Amazon. Amazon has business lines of credit. You can use Divvy, D-I-V-V-Y. Divvy have business lines of credit. Now, if what you're telling me is true, you're saying you have tax returns, your business has been up and running since 2019. I can prove income. I can show bank statements, this, that, and the third. You can use what I'm about to tell you. You can use business line of credit. You can use Divvy. You can use Floor and Decor. You can use Shell Gas Cards. You can use Uline. You can use Granger. You can use Summa. You can use these different websites to go and get business lines of credit straight off the LLC, no PG, because because you have the tax returns and things like that. If you don't have them, that conversation is null and void. But if you have them, like you just said, then you can use different websites. So that's Divvy, Summa, Granger, Amazon business line of credit, Floor & Decor Direct, you can use all those different ones. I have
did you say Floral Decor Direct?
Yeah. Wayfair has it too.
Oh, okay. Floral Decor Direct. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
So my other thing is, do you all help with the dance number, how to apply for?
So in the course, there isn't anything that directly addresses the DUNS number because this isn't like a business credit course. It's not a funding.
Okay.
It's an event-based course. So we don't go too deep into that. I'm just telling you now because like
Right.
we're on the call. Yeah, but the DUNS number is easy. Once you get your EIN, just go on DunandBradstreet.com. You get it in 5-10 days. Easy. And
What do you go to?
Duns and Bradstreet, DUNS and BAND, Brad, like Brad Pitt Street.
Yeah, Bradstreet. Mm-hmm.
DunsandBradstreet.com. You apply, you put in your LLC, you put in your EIN, you get it in 5-10 days.
Okay.
And then once you get your DMB number, you can go on nav.com, start setting up your net 30 accounts, things like that. It's like a whole process. But like I said, this isn't like a business. I just know what I know because it's an arm of the industry. Like people want to get an event space. A lot of times they need funding. How do I get funding? I do all these different things, but it's not like the course isn't focused on that. It's focused on getting an event space. And in the future, I probably will do hey, I'll probably record this and I'll throw it in the course. Now I'm playing.
No, I'm so sorry. What was the other one for the credit line again? Floral decor.
Floor, like the floor and decor.
Oh, floral and decor. Okay.
No, floor, not floral, floor. Like
could you spell that?
Like dance floor? FL.
Oh, floor. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this. I would want to nail it in coming 6 weeks. To see if I could get a space. You all could help me find a space that I don't have to use my own money.
So like I mentioned, the space, so we're going to be sending you the links for, so I want to be very, very clear about that. We're going to be sending you the links for space. So once Bianca emails you and says, hey, look, listen, where do you want your location? You're going to go ahead and input like, hey, I want it in Maryland. I want it in Baltimore. I want it in Virginia, whatever the case may be. And then she's going to go ahead and send you 5 links to spaces in that area. We have a whole team that finds spaces every single day for people. It's super easy. And then once you get those links, you'll open them up, take a look at them. All right, cool. I kind of like this one. Let me call up the realtor. And then that's when this show keeps.
Oh, so we do call the realtor ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
But one thing that I realize is that sometimes you call them, leave a message, and they never return the call.
Right? Yeah, they don't answer. It goes back to the script. So it really goes back to the script. If you use that script, I'm telling you, you're going to get a lot more yeses. So not only that, it's also a numbers game. I always tell people like NAV.com, like Nancy Amanda Varela.com. One of the biggest things about this whole event space thing is that it's a numbers game. Like ask anybody who has a successful Airbnb business, ask anybody who has a successful event space business, ask anybody who does any of these things. Like it's all a numbers game. So like people will literally apply for like 3 spaces in a week and be like, Brian, your methods didn't work. And I'm just like, well, how many spaces did you apply to? Oh, I applied to 3. What did you expect? So that's why I tell people straight up, like, and like that was free information. That was on a free class. Like there's people who didn't buy who got that information free. Cool. I hope it works for you. Like 10 to 20 realtors minimum a week. If you're not prepared to do that, don't get into this business. Like 10 to 20 realtors per week, 3 to 5 site visits a week. After that, like then we can talk. But until you're doing that, like there's more work to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we give you 5 to start with, so you have like you're not starting from scratch. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, so one more question before we go. Let's say we get the space right. My only concern is how do you get the tables and chairs ASAP to the venue?
There are domestic companies. I have domestic companies on the vendor list as well. They ship in 10 days.
Oh, here in the US, not in China?
Yeah.
Oh, so let's say if I need like Chavari chairs and the clear round chairs and the ghost chairs and stuff like that, we have it here.
And the vendor list, 2 weeks.
Oh wow. Ooh, okay.
You thought I was lying?
No. I've been thinking like, okay, when I get the space and the space needs to, be up and running. Oh my, and you know how China is, the shipping
times,
the shipping is crazy. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. So I am a florist. I'm an event designer. So I already have a hands-on. My IG page is DNK Glam Event. You know, I've been following you. DNK Glam Event. So I already have a hands-on when it comes to decor. But I just wanted to have my own space where I can also offer decor. And if they will have to bring in their own florist or decorator, that's also welcome, you know. But it's something that I've been looking forward to get myself into and have a space.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, 100%. The space brings it all together. Like, I mean, there's nothing I hate more than having to freaking go and pick up and drop off stuff at 3 o'clock in the morning. We don't do that anymore. It's just all at our space. Like,
this is the reason why I want to get my space, because I'm so tired of running around. Going to venues, and then when the event is over, we have to go like 2 a.m., pack everything, come unload everything. No, I just want to find me a space, and then the items I have, I just want to put them on rentals. When people want to rent, I can rent them out.
Period. That's literally what we do. Like, my warehouse is 8 minutes away from my house. One of my spaces 10 minutes away from my house. Like, it's beautiful. I love it.
So one more, I'm so sorry. How much?
Last one though.
Okay. So what size of square foot do I need for a 200 guest list? 200 guests.
At least 5,000.
At least 5,000. Okay, great.
Yeah. It depends on how it's kind of divvied up, because every floor plan is differently. But if you want to look at 200 people, the rule is typically square footage, usable square footage, net usable square footage divided by 15, as in minus bathrooms, minus alleyways, minus storage, things like that. Like that, whatever's left over divided by 15, that's how many people you have. So if you have 2,300 square feet, you divide that by 15, that's 125 people. Right,
125 people. Okay.
If you want to do 200 people, you're going to need at least like a 5,000 net usable, which means it might be like 5,500 square feet, 5,750, like that.
5,750. And what do you think like the monthly payment will be for stuff like that?
Completely varies. I couldn't even tell you that. It 100% depends on square footage, on price per square footage, which depends on the landlord, which depends on the location.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Nah, no worries. It's my pleasure to add value. Let's get it. Let's go. But all right, y'all. I really hope y'all got a lot of value from the class. I hope y'all got a lot of value from the Q&A. I think we definitely learned a lot about this. I might actually have to record this one and just drop in the course. Now I'm just messing with y'all. I might though. I might. This one that was actually really, really dope. I really enjoyed building with everybody. I hope y'all got a lot of value from this. It's definitely, this is a really cool business. Like I said, my life has changed with this business. I've been able to do a lot of things with this. I've been able to, like I said, buy property, get my dream car, travel, things and the third, and then of course give back with other people. You know what I'm saying? Kyle, shoot me a DM. I got you, my brother. I'm gonna look for it right now and I'm gonna send it over to you. But it's my pleasure to serve you guys, and I'm glad. I'm definitely proud to have you guys part of the program. Have a good night, guys.